Hey everybody, welcome back to Rowe Country. We are continuing our 25 Days of Christmas with this Dollar Tree Farmhouse Beaded Shadow Box Christmas decor. Stay tuned. Okay everybody, so I'll have everything in the description box below, but really this is a $4 DIY plus your paint. Now I did start with that beaded frame from the Dollar Tree and I took it apart. It was super easy to do. I did not get it on film, but you just basically remove the staples from the back of that frame and then you take the beads off of the twine that comes with it. Now, what I decided to do was make my beads red and white. So I'm using crimson and also white chalk paint from Waverly. I do have just a tiny bit of chalk paint left and I'm using it sporadically in a lot of my DIYs until I'm able to get my hands on a nice bottle of white chalk paint. So just keep that in mind if it's hard for you to find. I also sometimes use the Apple Barrel 50-cent bottle of matte white, just acrylic paint from Walmart, and that seems to give me really the same finish that I'm looking for a lot of the time. So I split the beads. You get 8 with the frame. I did, red 4 of those and then also white 4 of those as well. Now I picked up these really cute ornaments from the Dollar Tree and they are glittered beyond belief. And also this one that I first took out of the package, it was damaged. I never even realized it's missing part of the Y. So I went ahead and went back into the package and I pulled out one of the ornaments that I knew would work. I'm going to just remove the hanger from it. Guys, there is glitter everywhere, let me tell you. So I just brought in a Dollar Tree sanding block and I removed as much of this as I possibly could. It did take me a minute, but you will see a lot of the glitter does get removed. And this is what I was able to do just with my own power. So, just take your time with it. Try to remove as much as you want. And to make everything match, I'm going to come back in with the Waverly Crimson chalk paint and give that a really nice coat as well. Okay guys, now we're going to work on one of the ornaments that came 4 in a pack from the Dollar Tree. And what I did was just removed the wire. These come on a very thin wire hanger. And I did put that aside to keep for another DIY somewhere down the line. I also did not like the way that this particular tree looked. So with my own power, I just pulled it off the back of the truck. And then I used my fingers to just remove some of the glue that was stuck on the back. What I want to do is spruce this up as best as I can. So I'm going to take my hot glue gun and put some glue into the holes that were left where the hanger was on this. I want this to look as one cohesive piece, and I find that filling the holes really does make a difference in the end result. So just put some hot glue in there, let that set up, and then you can keep that tree for another day, but I'm going to bring in the mini trees. And like I said, we're going to really spruce this up, give it a paint job, and then we'll add a different tree to the back of this. Now, while I give this truck a good coat of that Crimson Waverly chalk paint, I just want to say hey to my returning subscribers. Guys, thanks so much for checking out another video of mine. And if you are new here, please consider subscribing and hit that bell so that you don't miss any other videos that I put up. This is part of my 25 Days of Christmas series on my channel, and you don't want to miss any videos that I'm putting out during this Christmas season. Okay, so we're going to start working on the actual frame, and I'm just going to put aside the truck and the Merry Christmas so that it can take a moment just to set up. Now, I didn't have to paint the other side of this. This is what that frame looked like. Keep that same energy, and it had beads on the front. You know, I did just take a little bit of white chalk paint and paint the back of that. That's not necessary, really. It depends on your decor. You could easily stain the back of that if you wanted to, but I really wanted to have this wintry Christmas look to it, so I just put the back inside the frame. Now I'm bringing back my truck, and what I'm doing here is I'm taking Waverly's Silver Lining chalk paint in a beautiful gray, and I'm hitting the truck rail and also the hubcaps to go around the wheels on this truck. And I really think that the Silver Lining chalk paint really sets it off. It gives a nice definition between the red truck itself and the wheel wells. And guys, I'm using a very fine paintbrush that I picked up at the Dollar Tree. Now for the wheels themselves, I'm going to bring in the ink chalk paint by Waverly, and I'm going to give the entire wheel a good coat of that as well. And again, I'm just using this detailed brush from the Dollar Tree that makes it super easy to paint, you know, in this manner. You know, I really feel like if I had a larger paintbrush, I probably wouldn't have achieved what I achieved here. So be on the lookout for the detailed brushes that you can pick up at the Dollar Tree. Now I'm going to give these a nice coat of this black colored, it's called Ink by Waverly, and then I'm going to come back and just highlight the hubcap itself, again with the Silver Lining, and I'm just going to use the back of my paintbrush to put a dot where the hubcap would be. And I really think that it turns out super cute. I'm really happy with the transformation between what I picked up at the Dollar Tree in a pack of 4 and what I was able to do with just a little bit of paint. I let everything dry, guys, and then I brought in these mini trees. Now these are really easy to take apart. I just twisted the tree right out of the base of that, and what I'm going to use that for is to give me some elevation on that truck when it's in the frame. So keep those pieces together. The first thing we're going to do, however, is bring in our Merry Christmas. And we want to do that so that we know where we can put our truck and have it fit within the frame. So I'm just going to use a little bit of hot glue on either side of this Merry Christmas ornament, but I'm going to make sure that I remove all of my hot glue strings, and then I'm going to sort of center it towards the top of this frame and set it down inside. Again, this is going to help me figure out where that truck is going to fit within this frame. And I'm thinking right now that it's looking super cute, but I do end up bringing the Merry Christmas down just a little bit, just so you know. Now I'm putting some hot glue on the back of that painted truck. I'm using the base for the tree and attaching it with some hot glue. And again, that's going to give that truck some elevation. It's going to sit away from the back of the frame, and it's going to allow me to attach my mini tree. Now I see here that I have some space, and I want to bring in some more of those mini trees. I just love these. I think this is a great deal for your dollar. And so I'm just going to use some hot glue on the stem or the trunk of this tree, and I'm going to put it back basically the same way that the other tree had been attached, just with a little bit of hot glue on the back. And with these being on a wire, you have the ability to bend and manipulate these so that they sit the way that you want them to sit, you know, after you hot glue them. So just use your hot glue and attach it to the back of the truck, and then take some hot glue and attach it to that base that we took off of the tree, and then place the truck inside of the frame. With that little piece on the back, that really gives that tree the ability to look natural, as though it really is truly being, you know, brought home from the Christmas tree farm. And then I'm going to bring in 2 more of these little mini trees. Guys, just know that these mini trees are not exactly the same size. So sometimes you're able to find some taller ones, shorter ones. I think they're really cute. I just took my thumb and pressed against the part of the tree that will sit against the frame to sort of flatten it out and make it look a little more fuller as it sits there. And I decided to go with a little bit of a taller one and then put the shorter one down in the other opposite corner from the actual truck. So I think this little vignette right now coming together looks really cute. It looks like that truck is driving away from the Christmas tree farm. So again, I'm going to bring back my Merry Christmas ornament. Guys, remember I said, you know, when I put it down at first, I felt like it was too far towards the top. I did take it off. I did touch up my glue, and now I'm coming back with some hot glue, and I'm going to put it in the space where I think it really is going to look best. Guys, I am loving how this is looking. This is going to be really cute on a tiered tray or even displayed on its own. I'm really excited for this. So I then brought in some of this floral wire that I also picked up at the Dollar Tree. Guys, this part is optional. You could just go right back the way that this had been attached to begin with a little bit of twine, but I wanted to use the wire on this project for myself. So however you want to do this is going to, you know, be your preference. But I just started feeding the beads onto the wire. I started with the white. I'm going to end with a red. That's what happens when you have, you know, an even number. You don't end up with the same color on each end, and I'm okay with that totally. But what I do is I just put some hot glue on the edge of that wire where I started, and I bring the first bead or the last bead, depending on your preference here. I bring that up to the edge and I let it set up a little bit, and then I put a little bit more hot glue in that space so that when the beads are sitting on the wire, they don't feed back or over, they don't come off of this wire. So just take your time doing this part of it. And then what you'll do is you'll feed the rest of the beads back down, and you'll cut off the wire, and you'll repeat the process on the other side. So using the wire allows me to bend the beads in the position that I really want them to be in. And once I'm satisfied with that, and I did play with it a little bit, so, you know, don't be frustrated, just do your best with this. I did add a little bit of hot glue, and I actually used some super glue gel that I don't show here, and I apologize for that. But I did use the combination of the two so that I could attach this to the top of the frame so that it sits exactly the way that I want it to. And I absolutely love this piece. I hope that you're enjoying my 25 days of Christmas here in Rowe Country. There will be another video coming soon. Guys, this was my $4 beaded shadow red truck Christmas decor. If you like today's video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you're not already, and watch another video while you're here. I will see you in my next one. Until then, bye!